4.2.2 asks you to show that you can use the logical function if. That's yielding one of two specific values with a comparison operator that equals, greater than, or less than. So in this kind of question, you might be asked to display whether or not John has passed or failed based on his test score and whether or not that is more than the pass mark. Now I find that most people have problems with this because they can't remember which is the greater than sign and which is the less than sign. So here we've got one of the signs. Now is this the bigger than or the less than symbol? Well, the way I remember this is actually bigger than or less than. There are two words in that sentence. So let's look at bigger than. So bigger than, two words. If we split the symbol into two parts, you can see that one side is bigger than the other. And so this symbol is the bigger than symbol. If you turn it around, then the yellow rectangles will be the other way around, and you'd have the one on the left being less than the one on the right. So in here, we're going to use the if function. So we go to our auto sum. There is no if function in the 5 that are available. So go to more functions and type if. This then gives us three options. First of all, the logical test, and this is where we're going to use our more than or our less than or our equals to. So in this case, we're testing whether or not the test score, so I click on the test score, is more than, get the right symbol, the pass mark. Now if that's the test, we've got one of two answers. Either it is, in which case John has passed. So if it's true that D2 is bigger than A2, we type pass in there. If it's not true, we put in the other message from the question. And here we can see that John has failed. Now suppose John takes the test again and does very well and gets 95%. Our if function dynamically changes because now 95 is more than 75. If you've ever played the yes-no game where you're not allowed to say yes or no, this is a little bit of the reverse of that, where you're only allowed to say yes or no. And the test part of the question, which is this first section inside the brackets of the if function, has got to be a question that can be answered either yes or no. So you're saying in this case, is D2 bigger than A2? You can either say yes or no to it. We could put an equal sign in there and say, is D2 equal to A2? The computer can check it and reply yes or no. And we could do the same with less than. Now in the exam, they tend to give you questions pretty straightforward. Try and figure out what the test is. And then remember, this is what it is if the test is passed, or yes, and this is what it is if it's not.